The morning sunlight filtered through the narrow windows of the military training facility, painting streaks of gold across the dusty floor. The air was thick with tension, the kind that clung to every uniform and whispered through the corridors. Cadets moved with practiced precision, their boots echoing in synchronized rhythm. Among them, one figure seemed slightly out of place: Clara Hayes. Clara wasn't new to the military. She had grown up around discipline, drills, and the stories of her father, a decorated sniper who had taught her everything from patience to marksmanship. Yet here, at the elite marksmanship academy, she was considered an oddity. Most cadets were young men with years of competitive shooting behind them, muscles honed for recoil management and endurance, eyes sharp with the instinct of hunters. Clara had the skill too, but she carried herself differently, calm, almost serene, with a quiet confidence that unnerved those who underestimated her. When the morning instructor called out the opportunity for a live fire demonstration, a ripple of skepticism ran through the room. "Who wants to try first?" he barked, voice cutting through the murmurs. Hands shot up, all of them male, all eager to prove themselves. Clara raised her hand tentatively, drawing a chorus of laughter. You think you can handle a sniper rifle?" One of the cadets jeered, a tall man with a smug grin. "This isn't a game, rookie." Clara didn't flinch. She simply nodded, meeting his gaze with a steady look that spoke louder than words. "I'd like to try," she said, voice calm but firm. The laughter intensified. Whispers snaked around the room. "She doesn't even look like she lifts a barrel," another snickered. "Hope she doesn't get herself killed before she hits anything." Despite the ridicule, Clara stepped forward. She adjusted the strap of the sniper rifle, feeling its familiar weight settle into her hands. Her father had taught her that every weapon had a personality, a rhythm you could learn if you listened carefully. She closed her eyes for a fraction of a second, feeling the rifle's balance, the whisper of potential energy in the barrel. The instructor's brow furrowed at the audacity, but he allowed it. "Fine, let's see what you've got." The target was set at an impressive distance, one that challenged even seasoned marksmen. Cadets had already been struggling with wind calculations, bullet drop, and the subtle tremor that came with the pressure of observation. Clara inhaled, exhaling slowly, centering herself. She lined up her shot. The scope felt like an extension of her eyes, and for a moment, the world outside faded. The distant target became sharply defined, each line and contour visible as though she were staring at a close-up photograph. The cadets around her shifted impatiently, expecting failure. Then came the shot. A single, clean crack echoed across the training ground. The bullet struck true, hitting the bullseye dead center. A stunned silence followed. The laughter vanished, replaced by incredulous murmurs. Did she just?" one cadet whispered. Clara didn't smile. She simply lowered the rifle, her composure unwavering. The instructor's eyes narrowed as he examined the target, then glanced at Clara. There was something in her posture, the precision in her movements, that screamed of experience far beyond what any of these cadets possessed. Before anyone could speak, the general walked in. Tall, imposing, and impossibly disciplined, he carried an air that made every cadet straighten instinctively. His eyes scanned the room, settling on Clara, then the target. A faint smile tugged at the corner of his lips, a smile that carried both recognition and curiosity. "Cadets," he began, his voice calm but authoritative, "I see some of you are struggling with fundamentals today. And yet," his gaze lingered on Clara, "someone here has already surpassed expectations." The room fell silent, the air thick with anticipation. Clara's heartbeat quickened subtly, not with fear, but with anticipation of what would come next. The general approached her, his eyes catching something on her forearm, a tattoo, partially visible beneath the sleeve of her uniform. It was unmistakable, a sniper's crosshair, etched with intricate detail. "That," he said, his voice dropping slightly, "is the mark of a sniper." Clara met his eyes, nodding slightly. "Yes, sir. It's something I've carried since I first trained with my father. It reminds me of the discipline and focus required." A ripple of surprise moved through the room. The cadets who had mocked her earlier now looked at her with a mixture of awe and embarrassment. Even the instructor seemed momentarily speechless, clearly recalculating his initial impression. The general's gaze softened, respect evident in the way he studied her. "You're not just another cadet," he said. "You've trained under conditions most here can't imagine. That tattoo, It's a mark of someone who has earned their place, someone who understands precision, patience, and control. Today, you've proven it. Clara's chest swelled slightly, not with pride, but with the quiet satisfaction of being recognized for her skill rather than judged by appearance. The rest of the day was a whirlwind of exercises, drills, and observation. Clara moved through them with measured efficiency, each shot precise, each decision calculated. The cadets who had mocked her now studied her intently, some attempting to mirror her posture, her methodical approach, though none could match her exactness. Between drills, a few of them approached cautiously. "Hey, sorry for earlier," one muttered, avoiding her gaze. Clara simply nodded. "Focus on your own practice," she replied, her tone neutral but carrying a subtle authority that silenced any lingering disrespect. By afternoon, word of Clara's performance had spread. Other instructors, impressed by her skill, began to take notice. The general himself observed several sessions, occasionally nodding, occasionally offering a comment that demonstrated his approval. When the final live fire evaluation came, it was clear that Clara wasn't just participating, she was leading by example. Each target, no matter how distant or challenging, fell under her precise aim. Cadets who had doubted her abilities now whispered about her potential, some openly asking for guidance on technique, wind adjustment, and mental focus. After the session ended, the general called everyone together. The air was thick with expectation. "I've seen a lot of talent in my years," he began, voice echoing across the range. "But rarely do I see someone who not only possesses technical skill but the discipline, calm, and precision that Clara has demonstrated today." He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. Her tattoo isn't just ink. It's a symbol of dedication, focus, and the embodiment of a sniper's ethos. She has earned the respect of every cadet here, including those who doubted her. The room erupted in applause, some hesitant at first, but soon unanimous. Clara stood quietly, acknowledging the recognition without fanfare. For her, the validation wasn't in applause, it was in the knowledge that her skill, training, and perseverance had finally been seen for what they truly were. Later, in the quiet of the armory, Clara traced her fingers over the sniper rifle she had carried throughout the day. The weight felt familiar, comforting. Her father's lessons echoed in her mind. The patience, the steady breathing, the unflinching focus. She smiled softly, a rare moment of personal triumph amidst the rigorous discipline of military life. The general's words lingered in her mind. A tattoo was more than a mark. It was a declaration of identity, a story etched in ink and action. For Clara, it was proof that no amount of mockery, doubt, or skepticism could diminish the skill and determination forged by years of dedication. By the end of the week, Clara had not only earned the respect of her fellow cadets but had subtly reshaped the culture of the training facility. Mockery was replaced by curiosity, doubt by admiration. Her presence became a benchmark for excellence, a quiet reminder that skill, preparation, and unwavering focus were what truly mattered in the field. And in the heart of the academy, somewhere between the dust of spent cartridges and the echo of bootsteps, the sniper tattoo on Clara's arm remained a silent testament to a promise fulfilled, not just to herself, but to the legacy she carried forward. The story of the cadet who was mocked for asking to try, only to be revealed as a master marksman, spread beyond the walls of the training facility. News traveled fast, tales of her precision, calm under pressure, and the tattoo that told a story of skill and heritage reached other units, inspiring cadets who had never seen her in action but heard of her reputation. Clara's journey was far from over, but that day marked a turning point, proof that respect is earned through action, not appearances, and that talent paired with dedication can silence even the harshest critics. By nightfall, the academy quieted, the targets set aside, and the rifles cleaned and stored. Clara sat alone on a bench, her rifle across her lap, the faint light of the setting sun illuminating the tattoo on her forearm. She knew challenges would come, doubts would arise, and she would face scrutiny again. But she also knew that the quiet power of skill and perseverance would always speak louder than words, laughter, or prejudice. And for the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to feel a deep, unshakable pride. The general had seen her tattoo, and in that moment, the room had shifted. Mockery gave way to respect. Doubt transformed into admiration, and Clara Hayes, the cadet who had quietly carried the legacy of a sniper through years of training and discipline, had finally claimed her place, not through boastful words, but through the precision of her actions and the quiet power of her mark. As she left the range that evening, heads turned, whispers followed, but Clara walked with calm certainty. She had proven something more enduring than skill alone, that the true measure of a soldier is not in the mockery they endure but in the unwavering confidence to step forward when it matters most. Her sniper tattoo wasn't just ink, it was identity, history, and promise. And today, it had spoken louder than anyone could ignore.